The Sefer Emes Yaakov in last week's Seder Parshat Vayishlach. If Yaakov Kamenetsky wonders what was the need for Yaakov Avinu to spend 14 years in Yeshivas Shem Ve'ever on his way to Haran. After all, Yaakov grew up in the house of Yitzchak Avinu, in the house of Avram Avinu, presumably had ample time to learn Torah from his father and his grandfather. When his father sends him to Haran with an urgent mission to find a wife, why was it necessary to spend 14 years on the way in Yeshivas Shem Ve'ever? Yaakov suggests that the Torah that Yaakov learned in Yeshivas Shem Ve'ever was fundamentally different and necessary than the Torah that he learned in the house of his father and his grandfather. Yaakov Avinu, the Yosheva Halim, who lived in more than one world, in more than one Ohel, who needed to prepare himself to engage with Lavan on his terms, needed to spend time in Yeshivas Shem Ve'ever, yeshiva that represented engagement with the outside world beyond the Dalet Amos of the Beis Medrash. We might have assumed that Yeshivas Shem Ve'ever didn't really interact with the world. We don't find too much about them in the literature, but Rabbi Yaakov seems to assume that Shem Ve'ever was a model of this engagement with the Torah necessary for life in Chutz La'aretz, life in a more complicated environment. And that's the Torah that Yaakov conveyed to Yosef as well. As Rashi quotes from Chazal and Parshat Vayishlach, the Torah that Yaakov told Yosef was dafka the Torah of Yeshivas Shem Ve'ever. And that's what Yaakov built on to be able to remain true as the man of Emes, Titan Emes Yaakov, as someone who was the epitome of Emes, while at the same time being able to engage Lavan, the Achiv B'Ramos, to be able to say in Lavan Garti V'Taryag Mitzvah Shamarti, even though he was able to be Achiv B'Ramos and yet keep true to the Torah. And that continues in Parshat Vayishlach as well, when Yaakov moves on from Lavan to engage with Esav, the necessity to engage in halachically acceptable deception when warranted. As Yaakov says, Yavorna Adoni Lifnei Avdov Anias Na'alali Iti L'Regel HaMlacha Asher L'Fanai L'Regel HaYeladim Ad Asher Avo Al Adoni Seir. As Rashi points out, Yaakov had no havamina of actually going to Seir, but he was pushing Esav along, despite what at first glance seems to be an untruth. So it was that ability to engage the world that he faced, the Titan Emes Yaakov, that Yaakov learned in Yeshiva Shem Ve'ever, and Yaakov was able to incorporate into his life. That's what comment the Meshech Chochmah makes at the end, towards the end of the Sedra. Vayichan es Pnei Yair, Meshech Chochmah contrasts the Gemara in Yuma Kavches that tells us that Avram Avinu was Mekayim Kol HaTorah Kula Afilu Mitzvahs Erev Tavshilin. With the Medrash Rabbah in this week's Sedra, Vayichan Pnei Yair, as Pnei Yair, Yaakov Avinu institutes Tchumin. Avram Avinu engaged in Erev Tavshilin. He was one with the people around him. Yaakov Avinu, given where he came from and was going, needed to make boundaries. Even though he was part of the world, he was able to engage with Lavan and able to engage with Esav. At the same time, he needed to have his Tchumin, he needed to have the boundaries, the red lines that would not be crossed. And that's the challenge that we all face, especially in the Rabbanos, of being able to engage in society at large, being able to impact and influence and affect the world around us, but at the same time, to make our tchumen, to be able to draw the lines at the appropriate places in order to enhance and to build ourselves as well.